Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Today, I wanted to take a few minutes. As you can see, I'm playing some Borderlands 2. And this is I've already beaten this game. This is actually probably it's probably my third time going through this game. But I was duped into buying another copy of it. And when I say duped, what I actually mean is it was on sale on Steam and or maybe Newegg, I can't remember. It was on sale somewhere, and that's how I end up, getting these games again. The truth is that for me to replay a game says a lot. Because I have so many games that I want to be playing or need to be playing, either because I want to review them or because I feel like I need to get through them to have the experience of playing them to talk about for different discussions. And sometimes there are a lot that I want to play for simple reasons, like, hey, somebody said this was like Game of the Year material. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, because as with what happens to me a lot, someone will say something or ask me a question, and I can tell that they're just bored or they're just trying to strike up a conversation, but I'll take that question and really overanalyze it and turn it into a whole new discussion. So as with what happens a lot of that time, Ulysses asked me a question on Twitter about favorite game of all time, and taking this and kind of trying to figure that out. And that's a really hard question to answer when you don't break games down into genres. I have a favorite shooter, of all time. Borderlands is definitely up there. I don't think it's my favorite shooter, but it's easily probably number 3 or 4. But then, for me personally, if I had to say what my favorite game of all time is, over all the genres, I think I would say Mario 64. Maybe arguably Mario 3, because I think I've put more time into Mario 3. But Mario 64 is just one of those games that no matter what mood I'm in, no matter, what type of game I want to play, if you put that one in front of me, I will play it. And I think that's a good example of, what counts for that. Well, anyway, so the reason I said I took that question and went too far with it is because I'm on a podcast where we recently discussed the Dead Air podcast. Not too long ago, we discussed the best game of 2013. And one of the things that I felt bad about, I picked BioShock Infinite as my game of 2013, my game of the year. And I wanted to make sure that that was accurate. And I knew that there was at least one more game I had to play. One more game that kept coming up in all the recommendations for Game of the Year that I just hadn't had a chance to play, and that was The Last of Us. Well, thankfully, I had a friend who had beaten it and was, boss time, was very, he wanted me to play it a lot. Sorry, I'm trying to remember if there's anything special about this boss. I don't think there is. But he really wanted me to play it, and so he let me have his copy, and he's like, hold on to it. I think he wants it back now, because if you don't know, the DLC for The Last of Us came out. I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, and I guess that says something about how developers see gamers, since there are, of course, 4, I believe, maybe more DLCs that have come out either yesterday or today. So, The Last of Us, I played it. I beat it. I would say it's about a 16 or so hour game. I'm not sure. It took me a little bit longer to go through it just because I attempted a lot in a lot of spots to be stealthy, and that caused me to either die a good bit, or when I would use a health pack I didn't want to use, or anything that occurred that I thought was too detrimental to my gameplay, I would restart it. I get that way with stealth games, especially with Splinter Cell. But The Last of Us is a great game. I plan on writing a full review at some point of it, maybe after I play the DLC. I'm not sure. I'll have to see how that goes. But it's an amazing game. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to talk about the plot, really. I will say that the game is... It's set in what I'd like to call a plant-apocalypse type of world. You'll understand that if you ever play the game. But the truth is that it's not about that. The game is really much more about the human condition. It's much more about the characters, the relationships. It does a really good job. You can tell that Naughty Dog put a lot into this game. Could it have been better? Sure. I don't... No game is perfect. I've never seen a perfect game. Even some beloved classics, I think. Maybe not a lot of ways they could have been better. I love Link to the Past, but there are a couple parts in Link to the Past that's like, wouldn't it have been neat if blank had happened here, or if they had done a little bit more with this. But anyway, so The Last of Us is one that I think gamers will be talking about for a while. I don't know if I actually want them to make a sequel. I think this might be a game that is better left, on its own. It was an experience. It was a wonderful experience. But it might not need more. The DLC that they're doing for it now probably should be enough. However, I will say, I still don't think, after playing this and after comparing it to BioShock Infinite, I don't think I made the wrong decision. I still actually think that BioShock Infinite was a better overall game. It was a better mark for Game of the Year. It did more in the gameplay facet. It also had, to me, maybe not quite as good of a story on the emotional level, but definitely a good story. The only thing The Last of Us really trumps it on is the ending. And again, I'm not gonna have a very spoilery discussion about this, but when you get to the ending of both games, I think most of you will agree that The Last of Us handled its ending a lot better. I am impressed that I was actually wrong about the ending of The Last of Us. I thought I had it figured out. And I definitely can say I didn't have BioShock Infinite's ending totally figured out, even though I did. I didn't get to play BioShock Infinite right when it came out. I was low on funds, but I tried to stay away from spoilers. I tried to know as little about the game as possible. So what I'm saying is, I think that other than the ending, which I clearly give to The Last of Us, I think the rest of the game, just as far as gameplay, as far as mechanics, I still think BioShock Infinite was just a little bit above. It was just a little bit better. So that's something that is clearly up for debate. That's not, I'm not the authority on that, and I'm not the end-all be-all. But if you haven't played either BioShock Infinite, if you haven't played The Last of Us, and while we're on it, if you haven't played Shotgun here, if you haven't played Borderlands 2, since we're on here, and by the way, Ulysses, I believe, said that his favorite game of all time was Borderlands 2. He's very confusing on his tweets sometimes, so I think I understood that correctly. But all of these games, all three I just mentioned, well, let me not get off track here. The Last of Us and BioShock Infinite are games that even if you've moved on, if you already got your Xbox One or your PS4, you owe it to yourself to go back and play those two at least before you leave this generation of consoles. But I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff right now. I like I said, I have a list of things I'm trying to get through. I have one separate list for games I want to make videos out of and try to get out to you guys, and I have another list of stuff I'm either playing just to review it and don't plan on doing videos, or there are a few things I'm playing just because, like with The Last of Us and with certain elements of Bioshock Infinite, I'm glad I played those games just because its storytelling elements, what it did, some of the mechanics. I now have what I feel is a much better repertoire of things to discuss when discussing aspects of certain video games. And if you want to talk about video games, the thing you need to be doing the most is playing video games. Unfortunately, when you want to review video games, what you find is you have a lack of time, between work and everything else going on. Sometimes it's just hard to find the time to actually review those games. How did I miss that? So I think what I kind of want to close out on is, is the discussion of what I want to see now that I've played probably the two best games of 2013, what I want to see in 2014. And that's a hard one. That's something I've actually been thinking about for a little while. Where is this guy? Who's behind me? All right. One thing that I really want to see is Watch Dogs. And the reason I want to see Watch Dogs is probably pretty obvious. I really think it has the potential of adding a great new element to the open sandbox style game. I think it might be one of the games that at the end of 2014 we're discussing as not only a contender for Game of the Year, but we're still talking about it because of the lasting experience. I haven't had a chance to play the new Assassin's Creed game yet. I played the intro. I love the intro. It's next on my list. Splinter Cell Blacklist is also next on my list, even though I know I'm a little behind with that one. But I wasn't very keen on some of the changes they were making to Splinter Cell, but from everything I've read, I was wrong. Apparently, I love these intros for these characters. Apparently, it's a good one. So I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on a few other things. I actually I'm gonna probably regret saying this later, but I'm actually also interested to see now what they do with the Call of Duty series, because now that they're going to a 3-year cycle, it could be good. I think if they put more time into any video game, it's usually a good idea. Usually. There's some, of course, that stay in development hell forever, and sometimes I'm like, just go ahead and release what you have, because this isn't happening otherwise. Then you have things like Duke Nukem Forever, and it goes down a whole different dark path. I actually thought about doing a video series on Duke Nukem Forever, and then I realized I would have to play Duke Nukem Forever again. I made it about over halfway. I was nearing the last third of the game, and I don't actually remember what happened, but one day I realized I was stuck on something, and I said to whoever I was playing the game with, I was like, we could totally be playing something else. And I never picked it up again. But I'm interested to see, what they do with Call of Duty. I think they're taking more time with it. I really hope Assassin's Creed does this, because Assassin's Creed 4 is apparently really good. Just imagine what they could do if they took their time. But, as we all know, it's about the almighty dollar. So I'm not really that excited about Titanfall. To me, it looks like Call of Duty with mechs, and I prefer games with single players. I know some people don't understand that. I am a person who likes playing single player games. It's not that I hate people, but I usually don't want to play with other people on these games. And you can use the word hate all you like. I think it's more of a disdain. I have a disdain for people. I'll stick with that. So really, the only other games that I'm really excited about is I'm a big horror fan, so The Evil Within looks really good. I know there's probably a few titles I'm neglecting here, but you'll live. I don't know. I'm sorry this video has been a little bit more of me kind of rambling about video games. More so than me playing one and talking about it or making jokes or whatever. There are a lot of jokes to make about Borderlands, but it kind of makes half the jokes itself. And if you've never played Borderlands 2, the reason to play Borderlands 2, it's a great game, but the reason to play Borderlands 2 is for Handsome Jack. I'm gonna throw that out there right now. All right. So anyway, I promise more videos to come. If there's something particular you want me to see, you want to see me play or do some videos on, or if there's some videos you think I'm not getting out fast enough that you want some more of, let me know. Use that comment section. You know, I'm not going to say like and subscribe. Okay, well I already did, but so you know. Either way. I'm gonna go play some more Borderlands 2. If you guys have an opinion on anything I've said here, you know, let me know. I'm always up for a civil discussion. Non-civil discussions will be answered with very few fucks given. Okay. All right. Have a good one.